All right, terrific. Well, good evening to thank you for coming to returning team manager training. I'm the regional training director. Probably everybody who's returning knows who both of us are. Um, and I'm the person who has the most recent version of the PowerPoint. So I'm going to be the clicker. I have very little talking to do, a little bit of talking to do and some specialized content for you. But Catherine will actually be doing most of this. So Catherine, take it away.
Yeah, thanks. And you know me, I'm Catherine Carlin. I'm one of the regional directors. And yeah, so we've put together kind of things that are new this year over last year. So you now, if this is at least your second year, you'll kind of hopefully have at least 1 year under your belt. And so you'll kind of see what things are going on. So yeah, I'm going to be the Joe Buck and Margaret's going to be Troy Aikman. Ooh,
There you go.
Cowboys are on tonight, aren't they? Well, so we'll like wrap
Oh,
this
are
up, right?
they? Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. Do I have my NFL team,
Oh,
my fantasy
that's
team?
right. Sure.
God, I hope I
I don't
don't have
know.
any
I'm
problems.
a Packer fan. There's no game tonight, as far as I know. Okay.
That's
So
right.
updates from TVNC. So we'll
Yes,
start with sort of the
yeah.
regional updates first. So make sure that, last year we kind of had a real big push for our social media connection. So make sure that you are following us on social media. We've got a great social media communication director, Michelle. She's like putting stuff out there all the time. And which reminds me, if you ever want like a shout out or like a shout out for your superintendent or principal or school or whatever, then like email me and we'll get that out. And let me see, our email is tvncdi at gmail.com, and I'll put that in the chat when I'm talking later on. Let me write that down. Yeah, because that's like awesome where we kind of tag the school districts and stuff, so they know kind of what's going on. Okay, next, please. So this year, the pricing for everything is kind of the same, right? So before you buy anything, make sure that your district, make sure what your district supports. So I do know that Denton, Louisville ISD, Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD all pay for the materials, right? For your team number. And I know that like Highland Park, Richardson, Capel, I'm probably forgetting people. You buy your own materials. Highland Park, actually, you buy your own materials, but Highland Park will pay for the tournament fee. So there's kind of a different kind of set. On the homepage of our website, it has who your district coordinator is. So reach out to them before you start buying anything. So the team number you get from Destination Imagination, it's the same price at $165. There's background checks that are the same as last year, $25. But make sure you check with your school district, because if you're a volunteer with your school district, they'll already do a background check and that fee can be waived. So if you go on the Texas or the Destination Imagination website and you start clicking around for this background check, you'll come up with a form that like your school secretary or whatever can fill out for you, and you can waive that fee. The team managers that have a background check are the only ones that will have access to the resource area. So know that for like the tournament or whatever, if you have to be out of town and you're the guy that has your background checked, your co-team manager might not have access to some different things. And again, this year our TVNC tournament fee remains unchanged at $75.
And
Okay,
just
next. Oh,
just
go
in
ahead.
terms of some of these sort of acronyms, um, the resource area, that's what RA
All
is, and
right, thank you.
RYT. If it's only your second year and you've only had to do the RA,
Thank you.
we do
I
have a
know.
little thing. One of our slides kind of goes into some of this as we go. So,
Let's see, buzzword bingo on there.
right.
Yeah. All right, and then I sent out an email. Well, first, hopefully you guys are getting our emails, our weekly newsletters. If you go to our website tvncdi.org, there's a newsletter tab that you can sign up. And if you've missed some of those, I usually post um, recent ones that we've sent out, so you can kind of read through some of the ones if you didn't get it, or if it bounced. If it bounces, like if you have a school district email address, sometimes those will bounce. So like use a non-school district. So oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there you go. Thank
Well,
you.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of stuff on here, but right, if you scroll
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
that's where you can click. If you haven't already made sure that you're getting those
yeah,
weekly newsletters or those periodic
yeah.
newsletters, that's how you do that.
and sometimes like for the new team managers, I'll look to see who has signed up recently because like they're not getting the newsletter to know that they need to sign up for the newsletter. Sometimes I'll add those in manually, but you guys should, hopefully you're already kind of in. So I sent out a newsletter the other day about Texas Extreme Creativity. We're the only ones that does this extreme. And there, because it's only Texas and not like DI Inc., we have a whole different kind of way to get about, right? So you don't go through the register your team for the tournament. There's a different registration process altogether. You get team numbers from Texas DI, not, the normal way that you guys do. And then the way that it works is that Texas DI charges us $25 for the team numbers, which is then we add on to the $75 tournament fee, right? So that's separate. That's only open to middle school and high school students. A lot of teams will do like extreme, or some teams will do extreme and a traditional challenge. The challenge with that is scheduling, right? So be aware of that, you might not be able to go to like everything if your team is doing 2 different things. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, next, please.
Where'd my clicker go? Sorry, I was clicking around. My clicker isn't up here. There we go.
Okay, so Lone Star Finals is the state tournament, LSF, you'll hear us say. So these are the numbers of teams that we send on to the state tournament. So like teams like per challenge per site. If there's only 4 teams that are competing, we only send the first place. If there's more than 5, we send first and second. It's pretty much the same that we did last year. And then again, that's the date that will be again at UT Arlington. Okay. All right, some training events. So just like last year, there are a lot of online training materials from DI Inc., which is the DII, right? Is the global worldwide Destination Imagination parent company. They update their modules for every year. So there's brand new, new to DI modules. There's a new interference module. There's new, how to fill out your form modules. So you'll get to those. Hopefully you took some of those trainings last year, like really fabulous. And you can get to that from your dashboard, right? From your when you log into the resource area, you can kind of click to that. So we highly recommend taking those training modules. Then for TVNC, we've got in-person and online training. So like tonight, virtual. We'll have, before our tournament, we also have a virtual training, like getting ready for the tournament. We have these every other week, the drop-ins with topics. So if you have any questions, come to one of those. So we'll have, the first 15, 20 minutes or so will be about a specific topic, but then you can ask questions about anything. It doesn't have to be just that topic. We'll have an IC Blitz like we did last year to practice instant challenge. And then we're also hoping to, and that'll be in person. We're also hoping to have an in-person winter workshop where we'll have like 5 different topics and the teams will rotate through. One of the things that's new on our website is that we changed it so there's a tab that just says events, and under events there's the calendar, and then there's also something that's like at a glance, and it's got the whole complement of everything that we're doing and deadlines and stuff like that this year too. So take a look at that. And then I have something like, if new team managers, we put together a presentation. It's like new team member orientation. It's like, it's not the same. I'm sorry, team manager. It's not the same as new team manager training. It's more like, welcome to DI. Here's here are some of the vocabulary words. We do this thing called an instant challenge. And what is that? And then what happens at a tournament, right? So it's not how to be a team manager. It's like people that are new to DI. So I did one of these in Denton last year, and I thought it was really great. So, and we could do that in person. We could do that, online. However, if people are interested in that, kind of let us know.
And the other thing that we have one more the next drop-ins. We've done 2 drop-ins so far. We have one more drop-in coming up that is really geared to some of that same kind of information. the topic is, kind of quick start to getting started. And so it's really geared at those people who are just getting plugged in. And so if you know anybody who's, in your school, your organization, your circle, this next drop-in, which is like 2 weeks from last night, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, the 7th or something like that. That would be a good one to let them know about as well.
Thank you. All right, so here's just kind of a list of things that you'll see on that at a glance. Like we talked about, there's going to be a new team manager training in person in about a week and a half. At the end of October, and I'm wondering if that's correct now. I don't remember. We're going to have an in-person challenge breakout. Like what we've done in the past is people like we break into breakout rooms with the challenge master, with the regional challenge master, to answer kind of questions. I mean, not to be interfering or anything like that, but it's like you'll be able to see those people there. This year we're going to do in person, and for some reason that doesn't look
It's
like
actually
the
the
right
23rd. I just went and looked at,
Thank you.
I didn't verify these dates because I knew
Thank
the
you.
5th was right. I knew
Well,
the
because I
26th was
thought,
right.
like apparently like the
Yeah.
dog typed this in. So yeah, make sure you look at the calendar and that'll have the very latest and correct information on there. And then we'll do that in-person winter workshop on a Saturday, and also the IC Blitz should be on a Saturday. And then, again, the virtual tournament prep, and then our tournament again at Newman Smith High School.
Yeah, so now just checking those other dates. All the other dates are correct. It's the 23rd, not the
Okay.
25th.
Okay,
But
thank you. Oh my goodness.
Obviously, Challenge Breakout is a great one to come to. It's worth coming out in person.
It is. It is.
Team,
Right.
to idea share with other team managers, as well as to have access to the challenge master. And then just a plug for the winter workshop. We've discussed some topics. They're going to be real skill builder kinds of things for your team. Instant challenge skills, performance skills, some of that kind of thing, some technical skills. So it's completely interactive. Every team will go through all 5, of the topics throughout the day. You'll rotate through, and they're going to be really cool. We have great presenters that we're, lining up and stuff. So we haven't done an in-person winter workshop for a few years, and we're very excited to bring this back.
Okay. And quick question on that. Is that a team event? So the team is allowed to participate, or only team managers?
That is team. Both of those
Okay.
events, the winter workshop and the instant challenge blitz, both of those are for the team to come to. And of course, at least one team manager. You can bring 2 team managers if you
Okay.
have to. Obviously they have to have an adult with them. You're going to get just as much out of it as the team does. And it is a way to build some of these skills that are sort of universally helpful to a DI team without with no interference, right? So they'll
Right.
learn more about directing themselves in their performance and things like that. So like I said, it's been a few years. We're very excited about getting this up and running.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's both the winter workshop
Yes.
and instant challenge blitz. So
Right.
12 and 118. Just to make sure we start planning.
Yes, definitely. And last year, I mean, like Margaret said, it's like we've had some false starts on the winter workshop. It's like we're trying to get, because part of this also relies on volunteers to present, certain, theatrical skills and stuff like that. And so sometimes we have issues finding people. So we will reach out to you guys if if your high school, drama teacher or something like that would be awesome to participate. And we have a lot of the outlines for this, right, Margaret? It's not like they have to come up with their own.
Oh, for sure. Right.
Own right.
And we have kind of a bank of presenters, but sometimes they're not available, and we're scrambling to find somebody new.
Right. I think, I don't know, whatever date we picked was a bad day for a lot of people. So yeah, so we're going to really try to get that, because again, it's like, the whole purpose of our region is to provide, training and support to our team. So we want you to be as successful as you can. So these are, kind of things that we can offer you. Okay. Next, please.
Went away again. There we go.
Okay, so yep, so our regional tournament again is going to be at Newman Smith High School, just like last year. The RYT, which is the Register Your Team, that system. So that's that's how you register for that tournament. So that's active. If you want to go in and just kind of make sure that your email is correct or something, because there are 2 deadlines for that RYT thing. The first deadline is get in there and make some change or like add what challenge you're going to be doing so we can make sure that we're recruiting the right number of appraisers and stuff like that. Oh,
What happened?
there you go. We'll have pin trading again, we'll have a silent auction again, and a scavenger hunt again like we did last year. Okay, so last year we had the bats, the bat pins. So it was like a state type of a pin, and then our region pin. So this year, Texas DI's motto is "The stars shine brighter in Texas," and so every region is going to have a star. That's what our star, the color of our star, and so they don't completely tessellate like the bats did last year, but they do kind of fit together a little bit. So yeah, so we'll have those to sell as well as our regional pins. Okay. Here's a list of district coordinators. These guys are all, their names and their email addresses are all, again, on the homepage of our website. And of course, we're open 24/7. So
Right.
I'm a slave to email. So yeah, email us. So here's some of the quick start. You guys have probably already kind of done this. This is again, kind of geared toward new team managers a little bit, but you're going to purchase a team number. Who's going to give you a link or who's going to give you a link to this background check? Once that's all taken care of, then you can start downloading the materials. Make sure you're signed up for a newsletter, follow us on social media, check out the trainings. Oh, the drop-ins are really great. I mean, I think we get more and more sort of a foothold as the year goes along, but it's just kind of a really easy way to just kind of how's everybody doing and what keeps you up at night kind of thing.
First and foremost, there's some kind of content. Like it's worth dropping in at the beginning. It's usually the first, 15 or 20 minutes of the hour, and then it's just open. And it's great to have returning team managers there so that if you have good ideas to sort of mentor or share with, newbie team managers, it's awesome to have you come in for a little while. We rarely go the full hour.
Right. So. And I will shout out to Juan last night. This is like a perfect example of this. So there was a new team manager from Capel who knows about DI just from, going to a recruiting night, right? An awareness night. And so she had some questions and stuff. And Juan jumped in and said, I was in your shoes last year, here's the kind of stuff that I did. Here's the materials you can find. It was fabulous. And hey, today, she bought her team number. So she's ready to go. So awesome. Okay.
Do I get commission on that?
I think I was just going to say you do, right? Yeah. We'll give you a shout out at the
$5 check is in the mail.
Yes. Okay. So here are some updates from Destination Imagination Inc. So here are all the challenges. I'm sure you've taken a look at them online or kind of the little synopsis. So they're all on the destinationimagination.org website, and they have little synopsis for each one. Of course, what's not on there is Extreme, because Extreme is it's kind of like an instant challenge, right? Where the team won't know what they're doing until tournament day. So those are our updated challenges. My personal favorite is the hedgehog on the tie wire. It's super cute.
I know. I do think the little logos or
yes.
line drawings are very cute this year.
Yes, they are. They're very cute. Okay. So, I mentioned before those online training modules, and they're all updated for this tournament year, this DI year. And as we go through the year, they're adding more and more. They're updating more and more. As you get started, you should probably take the refresher, keeping DI participants safe. If you've done any kind of, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts kind of stuff, you've probably taken these same kind of, recognizing issues with students and kind of what to do about it. There's getting started as a team manager. I think those are 2 modules. They're fabulous. There's also a continuing as a team manager module. So far they have interference, instant challenge, expense report, and I think I saw team choice elements the other day as well.
Yeah, I haven't taken that one yet, but I wanted to look at that one because that's one I think is a hard thing to train, and we, we have lots of resources about it, but I'm interested to see what they.
Yes, I think we're doing a drop-in specifically about team choice elements this year. I think people have asked for that. So Margaret, is this where you wanted to go to the project management, or are you going to do at the end?
Yeah, nope, I'm going to that next. So
Perfect.
So I took there are 2 so far. It's project management for team managers, module 1 and module 2. And when I looked at it, it said it's 45 minutes. I took both module 1 and 2, and I didn't like go ahead or, anything. I did both of those in about 35 minutes. I thought it was at first a little bit dry, and it's like AI-ish, sort of animated, but AI-like, but it had some very good, it's simple and it's to the point. The modules themselves track along with the roadmap resources, and I'm going to point a little bit of that out. There are examples that they use of the tools that are in the roadmap. Then in the roadmap, there's a completely different example. So if you watch the module and kind of how they quickly go through, because they don't go into as much detail in the module, in the training module, but then it makes what's in the roadmap, I thought, much easier to assimilate or to sort of embrace and understand how to use it. And then in the roadmap, so I'm going to show that in just a minute. So let me pull up the roadmap for you. So there's a whole section. It's all of chapter 9. So when you go and this year, when I downloaded it, it's in years past, you've been able to click on a chapter and it went to that chapter. Maybe it's my PDF reader or something, but that didn't happen this year. So you scroll or go to page 157 or whatever this is on which is chapter 9, and it has the first couple of pages, which is what is project management, that when you watch the module you don't even have to really look at. And then they talk about kind of, if you remember in the roadmap, it starts in terms of how to build a team meeting kind of agenda, is and the phases that you're going through week by week, that you're going to spend a couple of weeks, sort of beginning to identify the problems in the challenge, blah, blah, blah. Then you're going to go to sort of generating ideas. Then you're going to be executing on those ideas. You're going to be tracking the progress, and ultimately you're going to get to the tournament. So this talks about the sort of phases of the DI year. And it has some good links. I actually clicked through to a few of these, some project, like if you really wanted to delve into and embrace the whole project management thing. I think just watching that 35 minutes or so and then using the example that is in, so they give just 2 aspects, but this is like what a real challenge looks like, right? So this is like the story has to have these things and cannot have that, and then there's an element that is the attraction. So we don't know what the whole challenge is about. We only care for our illustration here in the roadmap about, here's the story part, here's the more technical part. So then it goes through okay, what do you have to do at the beginning? Well, what's required by the challenge? What's required? What does the team want to do? Also, they've decided their attraction is going to be a Ferris wheel, and that it's going to, grind into a blah, 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 So in these examples, then it goes through sort of, now on the attraction itself. What does the challenge say we have to have? And then it gives you, okay, so then what are our goals? What's our overall goals? What I really like is the resources, constraints, and assumptions, which is, okay, so we know that we have resources we can draw on, but we have a restraint of we can't spend more than this amount of money. We're not allowed to use glitter, whatever it is, what is going to hold us back from all the cool things we want to do. And then what are some assumptions? We assume that we're going to be able to have high ceilings. We're the this kind of challenge. We're going to be in a big enough room that we're going to have, we're going to be in the gym. So it's going to be way high ceilings and, whatever. And then it talks about, okay, what do we have to have? We have to have the attraction. We have to have the story. In a real challenge, you have to have, technical innovation. You have to have this, you have to have, integration. You have to have a team element 1, a team element 2, whatever. The dependencies are, what do we have to do to be able to do that? And then ultimately, who's responsible and who's going to help? So then, it goes through all these different possible kind of helping things, and then you have the blank project documents. So you can actually print these out of the roadmap, and for the deliverable is, what are the requirements defined by the challenge and what are we going to do? Well, eventually you may have to drill in, okay, we're going to have the story, but there are also characters. So, maybe we're going to drill in and we might use this particular worksheet more than once. So the blank ones are great because you can just print it off of your computer a couple times and the team works with them. So I just wanted to sort of show you how the roadmap is provides you all of the backup material that the module itself is talking about. And I really think that everybody who has had a first year team and got to the tournament and watched at least 1 or 2 other teams and has been through the appraisal process and how the scoring all works, it's like these aha moments of, man, we got to start earlier. Man, we didn't think about the fact that we missed an entire element. We didn't really know what a 8-minute skit that had these things in it could look like until we watched that high school team. So coming back and taking things to the next level, the next year that you're going to try to get a little more organized, or you're going to try to deal with some team they're goofing around. What can I do about it? You're going to deal with some of the things are going to come up interpersonally with the team, and you're going to start that earlier. So the sadder but wiser girl am I. Second year, but now some of you may be in your third year, and you're like, okay, the team sort of knows what they got to do, and they know when they're sloughing off. And we know that we don't want to have the, 20 hours a day, the last 3 days before the tournament to finish everything up. So how can we be better? Well, I'll tell you, how can we be better is watch these 35 minutes of how to use some of these tools. And that will totally take your team to the next level. And, aside from that, what a gift of lifelong skills. The next time your kid has a school project, the next time your kid has, something that they're doing with their church group or their scout group or whatever, they're building these skills that they'll be able to use in all kinds of different parts of their life. I wanted to also actually plug one other of these modules, and that was continuing as a team manager. That took 7 minutes, I think, or something like that. I mean, it was very short.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw that it was like less than 10 minutes, and I was like, well, I'll see what that one is. What it is a case study. It is a case study of a team manager who is kind of struggling with the fact that the kids won't stay on task. And they go to talk to their like school district coordinator or a more experienced team manager or the regional director. I don't know who the other person is, but they meet for coffee and they kind of talk through some, well, why don't you try this? And maybe you could try that. And so the team manager goes back, and because the kids are like, oh, we'll get it done. We'll be fine. Don't worry about us. You know, it's she doesn't want to interfere. And in this case study, in 7 minutes, you get some fantastic ideas, in my opinion. I thought it was really, really well done. So I think continuing as a team manager is also a really good one of these training modules by DI that I think is worth your time.
So for the project management one, I totally agree with everything that Margaret said. The thing with project management, like the part that I kind of love about DI is that these kids are like accidentally learning these sort of grown up things, right? So what drew me in on these project management modules was the very first thing, you know, it's like the Catherine Carlin as a team manager, the team is like messing around, they're not getting to it, you know, she's trying to get, you know, pull them back in, kind of focus. No, we'll get to it. And then the exact same thing happens in the next meeting, right? So this is a way to provide kind of a framework that has the team decide all these things, what we're going to do and when we're going to do it, right? And so this is the thing where you come back and you go, yeah, but you know, you guys did this, you know, what are we doing next on the schedule, or what's our milestone or whatever. And it's using all of these like real life industry tools and terminology and language to help the team manager help the team. So yeah, for sure, like check these out. I mean, yeah, they're fabulous. I mean, all the DI ones, the same kind of thing for me too, right? They say this is in an hour, and I'm like, oh man, dude. And a lot of it, you know, it's like, okay, I already kind of know this, and you can skip by and stuff. But it's like, it's really good refresher, and you could take it in your bunny slippers, and it takes care of like where you left off and stuff. And a lot of times there's like, let's review, and you got like a little test or whatever. It's like really great. So we really, you know, like we would never be able to teach you all of these things as a region. So I'm just glad that DI has these things. But these project management modules are brand new this year.
Yeah. And we knew that there was the project management chapter. And so, we talked about, hey, if you haven't used the creative problem solving tools in the past, you should be doing that. I mean, that's like every year returning team managers, it's like, really use that roadmap. And so we said, but this is pretty advanced. So take a stab at it, look at it.
Yeah.
Now that there is a training module that are short, they're concise, targeted, and informative, in my opinion. And and it tracks exactly to what is the tools that you therefore have in your roadmap to be able to plug and play.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks. Okay, where are we next? Okay, so so the continuing as a team, yeah, what would you do? The only thing was this the one, Margaret, where they said they had problems at the tournament the year before because they couldn't get their stuff through the door? Or is this the one? There's one of these modules where I was like, okay, I don't like this example because it was like it was sort of like the tournament people lie to us about how big the door was going to be, right? And this poor team had to like solve the problem or something. I'm like, okay, that's a bad example. Please don't use that one. But yeah, so continuing, there's a lot of good stuff. Was it this one?
I did watch that one.
Yeah.
But I did. Oh God, I hope that wasn't this one.
Yeah, it's one of these starts out with, we had this really bad experience at the tournament last year and it wasn't our fault. And I about like, bleh, right? Like, I don't want that to ever happen to any of our teams where like they feel like they got kind of, rooked because we gave them wrong information. I didn't like that example, but that's just me.
Oh, now
okay.
It makes me want to go back and figure out if that was the
No,
one.
that's right. That's right. So now you guys get to go through all the modules to find where the icky example is. Okay.
The thing it pointed out was know the rules of the road. That's the thing it
Well,
mostly pointed out.
I think the other part of it was it seemed in this example, it seemed like the team knew the rules of the road. I mean, I think it was meant to be an exercise in how to problem solve, right? Because their contraption didn't make it through the door. The door was too small, but the contraption didn't make it through. And so they had to figure out how to get it through because there wasn't like, dude, I'm just gonna like complain until you fix the door, right? I mean, they had to perform. So maybe that's what they meant. But like as a tournament official, I was like, oh no, that's not good. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, so the next few slides, actually a lot of these slides are changes to the rules of the road. So in the rules of the road, all the changes in there are underlined. So you can like find them pretty quick. So we're just gonna kind of go through quickly what kind of these are and probably why it changed. A lot of these are this generative AI business. So we're gonna like let you kind of handle that. But okay, so like go back to that first one.
Okay, sorry.
So one of the things, this competition level, you know, there's a university level. So there's like secondary level, university level, and a lot of schools, like if they went to like a early college high school, they competed under a university level, and they're saying that, yeah, that's not, you know, if you are the age of a high school student, you should be competing in a high school. So I notice every year there's a good number of Texas teams that do this, probably because there's not a lot of university level teams that compete, right? So I think they're kind of like putting a few guardrails on that. Okay, so then the next one is, all right, there's gonna be a ton of these. Generative AI for the team solution. So that whole section is new. And about the team manager's job, there's a whole bunch of information about that generative AI. And kind of in 25 words or less, they're gonna say that AI is kind of like a copyright. It's like, it's, you know, you can use AI, it's just not as creative as if, you know, your team did this itself, right? Okay, we can go to the next. Oh, right. So if this is basically says if there's some change to the tournament flow because of some extenuating circumstance, like if part of the building started flooding or something, then we'll, or even that day, like, or days before, we'll let you guys know. I mean, I don't know why they had to make that a rule. That just seems, but that is something that's new. And then again, another information that pertains to generative AI. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, and then on your tournament data form, a brief description of the team's use of generative AI. So like I said, a lot of these, we'll just like skip through a lot of these. Yeah, in the tournament data form, in the prep process as well. So if you're doing pre-prep as well as prep. And then on, let's see, what was,
Did I miss one?
yeah, tournament data form, right? So tournament data form, and then prep process, right? As it relates to that.
Okay. Then it goes
Ooh, okay. So here we go. Instant challenge. This is a little different. So an instant challenge, after time begins, any team member can ask how much time is left. That you used to not be able to do that in instant challenge. So that's a new thing this year. Oh, ha! You know, this is like all things, right? Like, why do we have this rule, right? So now they're saying you can only use the items that are provided in the instant challenge. So you can't draw on a team member. You can't, you know, change their hair. I mean, like you got to ask yourself, like, what happened for them to do this, right? You can't incorporate other stuff from the classroom into your instant challenge. I mean, you know,
well, that's always been the case.
It has, but
they had to write that one down.
Well, but this is a case of the, you know, if it doesn't say you can't, you can. Well, you know, you can't. The rules of the road also, you know, don't say that you can't, you know, smoke cigarettes or whatever, but you just don't. So this is something they felt like they needed to actually document. So, all right, next. Oh, so this is kind of the same thing about instant challenge, you know, like not muck around with, you know, the setup or how the tables are, if there's stuff taped on the floor. Yeah. Oh, okay. And so then instant challenge, so you know that you can dispute your scores only if there's an objective, only if the score is an objective, like how many, you know, eggs are in the basket. You can't do like how, you know, how funny was your script? That's subjective, but anything that's objective. Well, what they're saying is that instant challenge a lot of times has objective scores as well, but you can't dispute, you can't like ask questions about for instant challenge. So there's no dialogues or no, you know, disputing your score on instant challenge, even though it has objective scores.
And I think that it's sort of like in objective scores in the main challenges, the central challenges, is that I think this is also saying that they all have to agree. They have to come to
Right.
a
Yes.
single-
The scoring
single-
right. The
Yeah.
scoring program is set up that you can't have one guy that says, yep, they got him, and the other guy said, nope, they didn't. It's just like the appraisers have to agree, and the scoring program won't accept, you know, when the appraiser goes to enter their score, it won't accept the score if they're not the same. So it like forces them at that level to kind of relook at it and agree. Any unfair, unethical behavior, including unethical use of generative AI for unsportsmanlike conduct. What they're saying here is that a lot of regions do also give something called a high IC award. And they do that at state as well, which I think is like really cool, a really cool call out of the team, because our regional tournament doesn't have a whole lot of teams yet. We used to have, you know, easily double, almost triple the number of teams, but COVID kind of made us sort of start over again. When you have like a lot of teams, I think the high IC kind of is meaningful. Otherwise, in our smaller regional tournament, like the guy that ended up in first place gets the high IC. So it's like not as special as it can. So we will one day again have high IC awards, but until we, you know, reach some threshold, we won't be doing it. Oh, again, a glossary of terms, generative AI. Okay, so then,
I guess I didn't ever.
oh, we've got,
So that's basically the end.
Okay, so do we not have, oh, did I not include our really cool pins this year? So what's,
No.
oh, okay. So let me see if I can bring it up.
There was a final slide, and all it was questions.
Questions, yeah.
Here's how you email me. Here's our website. But
okay, cool. Okay, cool. Let me find before
not on the website yet, is it?
It is not. So we have a magic theme this year. So let me find where that is so I can. I'm not fumbling around here like I am now. Let's see. So we want to have, like I said, this sort of a magic theme. And okay, so Margaret, you could probably, what are we doing here?
I unshared, so now I think
you unshared. Okay, so let me share then. Thank you. And here's what we have. I don't know what this is, AI. So here's kind of what we're doing. In some of these pins, they're going to be like movable, right? So can you guys see these okay? You can see the pins. So we have, so it's going to be a set of 3 pins, and like this first pin is movable where like the rabbit kind of pops out of the hat. So it's not 2 pins, it's 1, but it's just showing movement, right? The second pin is like, you know, that you saw the lady in half kind of thing. So it like, it moves out. You see it's like a little stretch out. And then I think the last one is just kind of a little poof and he doesn't move at all. But those are going to be, those are region pins. And then we'll have, you know, the t-shirts to kind of match, but I wanted you to you guys to kind of see these. They're going to be pretty cute, I think. Okay, so let me see. So that was kind of all we had. You know what? Let me stop the recording.